Hi everyone, so today the theory I will be talking about is learning organizations. So first, what is a learning organization? It was founded by Peter Senge in 1990 and includes 5 major key traits. It highlights the importance of learning and transforming. So the first aspect I'll be talking about is called collaborative learning culture or systems thinking. It's called systems thinking because it's kind of about the idea of everybody working as a system to make it run smoothly. So this includes all voices being heard, thriving on different viewpoints, and every individual has to contribute. It's also compared to pieces of a puzzle where if one is missing, it won't work properly. So the next key trait I'll be talking about is called lifelong learning mindset or personal mastery. So it's called lifelong learning because it involves forward thinking and focusing on skills that can be applied in the real world. For example, if you see someone new or someone in the company struggling in a certain place of work, you'll have them do smaller tasks that will help them in the big picture. It really focuses on valuing the growth of each person and commitment to personal and company-wide goals. The third trait of a learning organization is called room for innovation or mental models. This idea is about how you have to risk in order to improve. So some people might be reflecting individually to see how they fit into the company, or leaders testing out new approaches. It's really about risking and learning from mistakes. According to Senge, mental models should be acknowledged and challenged in order to move beyond unfavorable behaviors and assumptions. So basically, you need to try out new ideas in order to move forward and not lose relevancy as a business. Next is forward-thinking leadership or having a shared vision. So this really highlights letting people learn from their mistakes. As a leader, they must challenge assumptions, encourage self-reflection, and set an example for their team members. If their team members do make mistakes, it's important to approach alternate ideas to help solve these mistakes. Examples of forward-thinking leaderships include team meetings, webinars, team blogs or discussions, and having an active social media. The fifth and final trait of a learning organization is knowledge sharing and team learning. The idea is when one person learns something and shares it, the whole group benefits. Also, comprehension is deepened when it's shared with a group. This can be seen today with online learning and at-home workers who must overcome obstacles and rely on each other for help. So if you learn something, you share it with the group so you can all benefit, and it will therefore deepen your comprehension. Here's a quick 5-minute video to recap what I've been talking about.
Throughout our lives, we collect tidbits of information, knowledge, through what we experience. We try to apply the lessons from these experiences as we grow. We are curious by nature, adventurous. We are learners. And for many of us, the process of learning never stops. Learning can be a critical building block for any organization. An effective sports team, for instance, continually feeds research, intelligence about the next team it's facing, statistics about shots, penalties, goals, and assists, reflection, video replays, and anecdotal information, observations from players, coaches, and trainers, back into its planning for that next game or tournament. And over the course of a season or two, the team is able to make both small and major decisions based on the fact that it is constantly learning, and the fact that it places enormous value on that learning. For a sports team, it's about being able to compete, have fun, and learn. In child and youth mental health, continuous learning is tied to stronger outcomes for youth and families. Let's take a couple of minutes and talk about learning as a core component of how you think and work, about being a learner and about being part of a learning organization. In the day-to-day rhythm of a child and youth mental health agency, there are components of learning virtually everywhere. Research findings, output from evaluations, conferences and workshops, conversations we have with each other and with children, youth, and families. The problem is that for lots of reasons, these critically important pieces of learning are not integrated into how the organization and its people think and act. We may be too busy, short on funds, or overwhelmed by the growing number of families knocking on our doors. Whatever the reason, we often miss opportunities to address some of those challenges by using what we have learned to be more effective, efficient, or responsive. And that's a shame, because if these things were collected, captured, and integrated into our services and processes, the result would be better service, better outcomes. When learning is embraced and celebrated, and knowledge is shared and valued, everyone benefits. Clinical practitioners are more motivated and fulfilled, sharing their knowledge and experience as they take in new ideas that contribute to a dynamic process of growth. Managers and leaders make better decisions and are able to respond to emerging challenges with the latest evidence. Your organization contributes to and benefits from the kinds of organizational learning that can radically improve communities and systems. And most importantly, children, youth, and families come to the table with important things to share and come away with a sense of empowerment and involvement. So, what are the key components of being a true learning organization? Learning from evaluation, embracing the wealth of crucial data that evaluation provides and sharing what it brings forth across the organization. Committing to evidence-informed practice, drawing on research findings and giving them value, as well as including the lessons of clinical wisdom and client voice in the dialogue. Making good ideas a reality through thoughtful implementation practices as you make changes to the way you do things. At the end of the day, remember these three things. First, the impact of becoming a learning organization means better decisions, better service, better planning, better communication, and better outcomes because you stay connected to your environment, learn from it, and adapt to meet changing needs. Second, and think about this from a personal point of view, learning is an energizing and empowering experience. Multiply that out across an entire team, and the effect on culture can be astonishing and positive. Finally, this is not complicated. Embarking on a learning journey as a professional and as an organization is within your grasp and does not mean a radical reconstruction of your way of working. In fact, you are probably already doing it in one way or another.
Now here's some questions for you. 1. Who discovered this theory? 2. What is the overall goal with this type of organization? And 3. You can reflect upon, would you enjoy working with a manager who implements this theory? Thank you all for listening, and I hope you learned lots about learning organizations.